Boyfriend keeps body shaming me. Hi. I, 28 female, feel like I'm gaslighting myself into thinking I'm overreacting just to hang on to my relationship, as I do love my boyfriend, 36 male, with all my heart, and I can't bear losing him, so I'd like an unbiased opinion on the situation. I fear if I talk about this with my family, they might think ill of my boyfriend, and that's the last thing I'd want. Long story short, I feel like my boyfriend is constantly body shaming me. Sometimes he gives me backhanded compliments, like "you'd be even prettier if you'd get X done." He often suggests Invisalign and laser hair removal. He won't touch me if I'm not perfectly shaved from head to toe. Often when we're in bed together, he will put his hands on my hips or my stomach, and he would tug at my skin or squeeze in the areas I'm softer. I asked him the first time why he'd do that, and he said he was imagining me without it, and that he wished he could just take it off me. He works in healthcare and keeps insisting he knows better, and he keeps using health and BMI as his excuse. And even though I have gone through months of rigorous exercise and 1 meal a day before, I haven't managed to lose much weight during those times. I am currently 3.3 kilograms above my ideal BMI. For context, clothing size medium or 38 depending on the store I shop at. So I'm not saying I'm skinny. I know I'm not. But I also don't think I am massive, and even if I was, I don't think I'd necessarily deserve to be approached about my weight like that. I was diagnosed with long COVID a few months ago and suffered brain damage because of it, and never have any of my doctors suggested I needed to lose weight to speed up my recovery. If anything, I was advised to rest as much as possible and avoid too much stimulation, both physical and mental. One of my doctors even told me that throughout the day I should sit down on a chair and do literally nothing to give my brain a rest. During those breaks I am not even allowed to read or have conversations. Of course, I don't feel comfortable taking such advice, as sitting still is just not for me, so I still try to go about my life relatively normally, trying not to complain too much and focusing on taking care of my family and my boyfriend instead. But unfortunately, I am currently at a point where even walking is starting to become painful and difficult for me. So naturally, I am not physically as active as I normally have been before, but I haven't gained much, if any, weight since getting sick due to lack of appetite and such. I typically take at least 30 to 45-minute walks a day with my dogs, on top of the daily things like grocery shopping or cleaning, etc. Today he made another comment about my weight while we were still in bed waking up together. Out of nowhere, he started squeezing my belly again and said I should exercise more. I can barely get through the day as is, and I just exploded, first in anger and later on in sadness. I cried most of the day today because I feel like such a failure. Later on, he kept coming back to me to say he was sorry, insisting on his health excuse again, claiming me being thinner would help me walk better again when my weight is not the main issue in the first place. I'm honestly at a loss. I asked him to knock it off before, and he said he'd try, but would probably do it again because he was an idiot. Now every time he starts touching me around my waist, I just feel uncomfortable. I feel deeply ashamed of myself for not being thinner, for not being healthier, for not being more attractive, even for growing body hair. I feel guilty for every bite of food I eat, and I spend a lot of time tugging at myself the way he does when he's not around, taking over the habit of just trying to will myself smaller. I shave myself in the shower until my skin is bloody and raw. I even started skipping meals again just because I feel I don't deserve food. Meanwhile, I have to remind him almost every morning to brush his teeth. Maybe his comments are deserved, and he really is just looking out for me. He is otherwise kind to me, and he does his best, even though he has claimed multiple times he's bad with girls. But it doesn't feel like genuine concern when he told me last April that any man would prefer a fit, trained girlfriend. I just feel really hurt that he would repeatedly do something I asked him to stop doing. It's not about subtly being called fat, It's just at this point about already not feeling good enough due to my mental or physical health issues, and then adding to my body image issues on top of that too. So I guess my question is, how do I get him to accept me for who I am? Or how do I get him in the very least to stop doing these things? I can barely look at myself in the mirror anymore. I just feel so ashamed of myself, and he's already been looking at flight tickets to send me home to my family, which I never asked for, but he was upset too after I yelled and cried today, and he said he doesn't deserve to be treated like this. Am I really making a big deal out of nothing?